A Far Off Place is a 1993 American adventure drama film based on Lawrence van der Post's works A Far Off Place (1974) and its prequel A Story Like the Wind (1972). The film stars Reese Witherspoon, Ethan Randall, Jack Thompson and Maximilian Schell. The filming locations were in Namibia and Zimbabwe. Against his wishes, spoiled New York teenager Harry Winslow accompanies his father to the Kalahari Desert in Africa to spend time with family acquaintances Paul and Elizabeth Parker. As he struggles to adjust to life without the technologies and amusements of home, Harry clashes with the Parkers' spirited 14-year-old daughter, Nani, who wishes to follow in Paul's footsteps as a progressive wildlife commissioner fighting against Africa's elephant poachers. That night, Nani and the family dog, Hintsa, sneak out of the house to meet Nani's bushman friend, X-Habo. Harry follows them to a cave, where they spend the night to recover X-Habo's strength after he is attacked by a leopard. At dawn, Nani hears gunshots and runs back to the house to discover that her parents and Henry's father have been murdered for investigating ivory exporting secretly run by Paul Parker's associate, John Ricketts. As poachers plunder the house, Ricketts realizes Nani and Henry are missing. Remaining out of sight, the girl grabs explosives from the garage and attaches them to the bottom of their truck, killing several of Ricketts' men. She flees to the cave and X-Habo advises them to follow the wind by heading west across the Kalahari Desert. On the edge of the desert, X-Habo communicates with a herd of elephants and convinces them to cover their tracks by following behind. Henry is furious to learn they have 2,000 miles to travel before reaching the seaport of Carlstown, but Nani remains optimistic. Meanwhile, the Parkers' close friend, Colonel Mopani Theron, learns of the attack and, unaware of his involvement, orders Ricketts to lead an aerial search party to find the missing children. Although Henry attempts to flag down the helicopter as it soars overhead, Nani worries they could be poachers and instructs her companions to hide. As a trick, the children remove their clothes, stuff them with straw, and lay them in the sand. Nani watches in horror as Ricketts pulls out his gun and shoots the fake bodies until he believes they are dead. Over the next 2 months, the travelers dig up plant roots for sustenance, and X-Habo teaches Henry how to speak his native language and hunt gemsbok. During this time, Theron remains convinced that the Parkers' death was a corporate conspiracy, and continues his tireless search for the exporter's store of elephant tusks, which he believes will lead him to the murderer. At X-Habo's encouragement, Henry presents Nani with a vest made from gemsbok pelt. That night, Nani and Henry mourn the loss of their parents and share a hug. Near a remote general store, the owner's hunting dogs chase the fugitives across a gorge, but they escape with only minor injuries. A few days later, Ricketts meets a buyer at the same shop and notices that the owner is in possession of Nani's necklace, which she lost in the scuffle. Suspecting the children are still alive, Ricketts kills his right-hand man for failing to ensure the bodies were buried. As Nani, Henry, and X-Habo succumb to the heat of the desert sun, a scorpion stings X-Habo. He tells his friends to continue without him, but Nani and Henry insist they stay together. When Nani wanders off in search of water, she collapses in the sand. Hearing the hum of Ricketts' approaching helicopter, Nani and X-Habo weakly thump their chests in the spiritual Bushman practice of tapping, which summons a sandstorm that forces Ricketts to flee. Unaware they are only a few yards away from the Atlantic coast, the 3 travelers fall unconscious and awaken in a Carlstown hospital. There, Nani is reunited with Theron and informs him that Ricketts was responsible for her parents' deaths. Once they are recovered, Nani and Henry accompany Theron to Ricketts mining facility, where they find his hoard of elephant tusks. Nani insists the remains must be buried, and they begin to rig the facility with dynamite when Ricketts arrives to stop them. Henry traps Ricketts under a pile of tusks, and Nani holds him at gunpoint, but cannot shoot. Together, they lead the perpetrator outside and light the fuse. Unable to see his fortune destroyed, Ricketts runs back into the mine in an attempt to extinguish the flame, but the dynamite explodes and buries him beneath the rock. Sometime later, Nani and Henry say goodbye to ex-Habbo, who returns to the Kalahari. Henry kisses Nani before boarding an airplane home to New York, and Nani tells him to leave without looking back. However, as she and Theron begin cleaning the charred remains of the Parker home, Henry returns, and the children embrace.